And welcome to The Picture Show. My name is Emily Barmore, and today we're going to be talking about the movie Happy Death Day, which is about a college student who dies on her birthday and keeps having to relive her day until she can solve her until she can solve who her murderer is. Almost kind of like Groundhog Day. We'll discuss that right after the trailer.
Oh, hey, you're up.
Am I in a dorm room?
Yeah, I folded your pants for you.
Great.
Dude, did you get that or what?
Go shorty, it's your birthday.
Stop global warming.
We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip Bacardi like it's your
You
birthday.
sneaky little biatch. Maybe you should switch to water next time. Super helpful. Don't be late to the party tonight.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Tree, happy birthday.
We can party in the club, bottle full of bub. Look, mommy, I got the X. I'm getting into taking drugs. I'm in the habit.
You scared me.
Hey, you're up.
Look, I know this isn't gonna make any sense.
Stop global warming?
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
You sneaky little biatch. Happy birthday.
I've already lived through this day. Somebody's gonna kill me tonight. So you're getting here now.
Is everything okay?
Shut up!
Assuming that I believe any of this is even possible,
Sprinklers. Car alarm.
The way I see it, you have unlimited amount of lives, unlimited opportunities to solve your own murder.
So I'm supposed to keep dying until I figure out who my killer is?
You want to live to see tomorrow, right? Whoever's killing you knows it's your birthday.
Pretty much the entire school knows it.
These are signs of major trauma. You should be dead.
You relive the same day over and over again. Kind of start to see who you really are.
All units, we've got a 187.
And welcome back to The Picture Show. Alrighty, discussing with me about Happy Death Day is my good friend Lauren Wagner. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So you went to go see it the next. Did you
saw
go
it Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
I went to go saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
What did you think of the movie?
I really, really liked the movie. I'm not a big scary movie fan, so I was like, I wonder if it's gonna be super, super scary, like suspenseful. I knew it wasn't gonna be too gory,
Right.
but I did not know how many jump scares there were gonna be, if it was even gonna be funny. And it actually turns out to be one of my favorite genres, which is dark comedy. And so it's not it's got a couple of jump scares. There's a couple of dark comedy movies on
At the
Netflix.
very beginning of the movie, it has the jump scare. At the
Yeah.
very beginning of the movie, where like spoiler alerts, by the way, we always have to warn
Yeah,
spoiler alerts.
spoiler
The one part where she was like the first
very first time she died.
She woke up. The very first time she died, she's walking down to go to this party because it was just a big party. They didn't know it was her surprise party because nobody knew it was her birthday. And there was just a little carousel, just go, or like a little, the little turning thing.
trinket
Yeah.
that makes a noise. I don't remember.
And it's
what
just, the melody is Happy Birthday to You, and it's just going very slowly, and those always just freak me out, especially around this time of year.
Oh yeah.
And, excuse me, during this time of year, that thing always scares me, and like, she walks towards it, and she turns, and the killer's there, and just like, I think your buddies walked you out of the way, and blah, blah, blah. And then she walks past it, and it starts playing again. And I'm like, that is kind of creepy. And then he jumps down, and there's a jump scare there, so.
And I think that's really the only time I really got scared. But there's a couple of dark comedy movies that are on Netflix, and that reminds me of that. That they're really just kind of funny. the whole movie had comedy in it, and I really enjoyed it more. I thought I was really not going to like it because I thought it was going to be more scary than it was.
Right.
But I ended up really enjoying it, and it had some aspects in it that I didn't really expect. You find out it's in Louisiana, and
I thought that was cool. Which I remember you telling me that Monday, and when you told me that, I went to the movies, and I went when there were 6 of us in total. I had 5 friends go with me, and we noticed that the cop car had Louisiana Sheriff's Department on it, and it also had like the cop had the Louisiana badge on it, and I thought that was just super cool how how it was in Louisiana. And then a friend of mine pointed out, like, I think that was shit at I think she said it was Bailey's, like the college. So I didn't get to look up where it was located, but I think they shot it at a college in Louisiana, which is why I said Louisiana Sheriff's Department, and I thought that was really cool.
It was like a state police car or something. But the way I figured it out is when she gets pulled over, and he walks up to the car, and you see the side view, so you see his arm, and I'm like, is that? I was like, nuh-uh.
That's the state of Louisiana. That's the state of Louisiana on there.
Like,
the L.
Yeah, there's no other state that looks like that. So I was kind of, I was a little like surprised. And previously, before the movie, the person I'd went with, we had talked about how it kind of reminds us of Groundhog Day because she just wakes up over and over, and everybody knows how Groundhog's Day is. And he wakes up and he lives his day over and over. Granted, I don't remember the concept and why he lives his day over and over. But, so we had talked about that, and it was just kind of funny, and then they mentioned that in the end. And
at the very end of the movie, just like, you know what your story reminds me of? Reminds me of Groundhog Day. And she goes, I've never seen that movie.
And she's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, Bill Murray. And she's like, who? And he's like, Ghostbusters. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, way to make Louisiana look great. Power to you, like.
But I loved all the characters. Like,
I've never seen them in any movies.
They've never been in. I actually looked up. I don't think any of them were in any movies, and if they were extras. But you had Jessica Rose playing Tree. You had, I think his name was Israel as Carter, who is the guy in the trailer who you see wearing the flannel and stuff.
Yeah, she wakes up in his room.
Yeah, she wakes up in his room. He's in a dorm because she's in a frat house. That's her story. Like, she's
sorority.
It's sorority, not a frat house.
Yeah, frats are men.
Yes, but she's in a sorority, and she wakes up in a college dorm, and they're always just like, very proper. They can't really have calories or anything.
That's so annoying.
Oh.
That was probably my least favorite, but it's almost realistic that a lot of sorority leaders think that that's how it should be.
Alrighty. And it was actually filmed, thank you, cameraman, it was actually filmed in New Orleans.
And Los Angeles.
Partly
I think that's
in Los
kind of
Angeles.
interesting.
I thought that was really cool that they filmed it here, and because not a lot of films are filmed here. Like we did a couple episodes ago when we talked about the LA Film Prize. Olympus Has Fallen was filmed here in Shreveport at the CenturyLink, and I thought that was really cool. But it's actually really cool that they filmed it here in New Orleans. They also did it in Los Angeles, which is a very popular place to go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I thought that was very interesting how they kind of like did it in different places, but.
And I really liked that I didn't know anybody in this movie. That I couldn't be like, oh, that's where she's from. I loved the main character who played Tree. I think she's definitely gonna.
She did a really good job.
I think her acting career will take off because of this movie.
Same as the one who played Carter. He's gonna. I feel like he's gonna go to different places. And the roommate, she did really good. Now, of course, spoiler alerts. The roommate. You find out that the roommate is
actually
the killer. And I thought that was really interesting because you're sitting there throughout the movies like, who is going to be? They brought an aspect into it where there's a guy on a rampage kidnapping and killing all of these college girls in different places.
So, and the roommate works at the hospital he's at.
Yes, and you know she's like, that's my killer. Because the point is, she had to figure out who the killer is. She's like, that's my killer. That's who it is. I can solve the mystery, and then I can wake up the next day and just be great. And then she kills him finally, and she dies. They celebrate. Her and Carter celebrate by eating. And if you're slow like me, just for a warning, even eating the cupcake I did not figure it out until she was like, oh, you killed me. And in the trailer, Lori, which is the roommate, gives her the cupcake. And it's just like, here, happy birthday, I made it from scratch.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was a sweet gesture. Like, I had no idea until she was like, you killed me. And I'm like, man, really? Like, it wasn't even in my guess that it was her.
Right. Now we're going to go ahead and take a short break. We're going to go to Dylan Procell, who did the DVDs and Netflix picks of the week. After that, we're going to come back and we're going to discuss more about Happy Death Day. Stay tuned with us.
If you're among the 1 in 3 Americans with high blood pressure, knowing a few facts can help you keep from letting it get you down. For example, while high blood pressure increases your risk for heart disease and stroke, you can control it. First, you need to know about it. Since high blood pressure often has no symptoms, it's important to check it regularly. Blood pressure is measured using 2 numbers, systolic, the pressure when your heart beats, and diastolic, the pressure between beats. A reading of less than 120 over 80 is considered normal. One of more than 140 over 90 is considered a problem. If yours is high, your doctor may suggest certain lifestyle changes, such as eat a healthy diet low in salt and fat and high in fresh fruits and vegetables. Be active. Try taking a brisk 10-minute walk 3 times a day, 5 days a week. Don't smoke. If you do smoke, quit as soon as possible. You can learn more from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention at cdc.gov. You can help your child beat bullying. First, you and your child should know he or she is not alone. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says 1 in 5 kids is bullied at school and 16% are bullied electronically. Next, consider these ideas for dealing with the problem. For one thing, try to get your child to develop his talents and positive attributes, music, athletics, art, so he can be more confident. Next, teach your child safety strategies, such as to seek help from an adult when feeling threatened by a bully. Talk about whom she should go to for help and role-play what she should say. Assure your child that reporting bullying is not the same as being a snitch. Help your child meet new friends in and outside of school. A new environment may provide a fresh start. Finally, make sure your child has a safe and loving home environment where he can take shelter, physically and emotionally, and always maintain open lines of communication with your child. More helpful advice can be found online at cdc.gov.
What's up, guys? I'm Dylan Procell here with the DVD and Netflix picks of the week. Let's get right into it. First, we have 1922, starring Thomas Jane and Molly Parker. A simple yet proud rancher in the year 1922 conspires to murder his wife for financial gain, convincing his teenage son to participate. Next, we have Wheelman, starring Frank Grillo and Caitlin Carmichael. A getaway driver for a bank robbery realizes he's been double-crossed and races against the clock to find a way out who betrayed him. Then we have The Hateful Eight, starring Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, and Jennifer Jason Leigh. In the dead of a Wyoming winter, a bounty hunter and his prisoner find shelter in a cabin currently inhabited by a collection of nefarious characters. For the DVD picks, we have The House, starring Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler. After the town takes away their daughter's scholarship, a couple start an illegal casino in their friend's house to make back the money. Then we have Personal Shopper, starring Kristen Stewart. A personal shopper in Paris refuses to leave the city until she makes contact with her twin brother, who previously died there. Her life becomes more complicated when a mysterious person contacts her via text message. Then we have Batman vs. Two-Face. Adam West, Burt Ward, and William Shatner star as Batman and Robin team up once again to stop the former Gotham City DA, Harvey Dent, who goes on a crime spree based on the number 2, and as always, all of his actions are decided with a flip of the defaced two-headed silver coin. Well, there we have it. It was the DVD and Netflix picks of the week. Once again, I'm Dylan Procell, and let's get back to the picture show.
And welcome back. Today we are going to finish up talking about Happy Death Day. Now, before we went on break, we were talking about the roommate and how she's the murderer. Mm-hmm. I thought, and they did add another aspect, which is this guy going on a rampage, killing all the murderer. The murderer, killing all these.
They knew he was I think he was in prison, that they knew he was a murderer, and he had murdered college girls. And she, and apparently, like, in the beginning, because she works a night shift when she normally works day shift, this is when it all happens. And, like, I just did not put two and two together to save my life.
Oh, yeah.
And
like,
so she apparently gives him the knife and gives him the mask and tells him what she wants him to do, and she loosens his cuffs. So, like, he kills all the cops and escapes or something. And I think he kills her maybe twice, but most of the time, because the girls in the mask, it's her, not the killer.
Right, and I thought it was really interesting how they did that. And they gave like little subtle hints to it being the roommate because it was very suspicious that the cupcakes was made out of scratch. The killer, there's a scene where the cops go and pull her over, is in the trailer, where the cop car blew up. Now you see the killer has a candle and it drops. Now it might look like a different candle. It kind of looked the same, but it's still a candle.
I think it's the same.
Yeah, it probably is the same. Whereas the candle drops it and it blows up.
And see, I totally missed that. I was just like, oh, it's a match. Like, you know, I was totally oblivious. I'm so fun to go to the movies with.
Because I was sitting there, I looked over at my friend, I'm like, it's the roommate. The roommate's a killer.
See,
so, you know, they have all these people come in and then they're like, it's Carter, because Carter, which is the guy in the trailer, the one with the flannel.
Yeah, the one she wakes up in his room every morning.
Yes, because he's just like, you know, hey, to figure out who it is, you got to solve who the killer is.
Yeah.
And when I saw the mask and the desk. I could not say that.
Of the teacher.
Of the teacher. She finds
she
the
thinks
mask.
it's him.
She's like, it's the teacher, and then she looks, and the teacher's there, and the killer's behind him. So it's not. So he's just. He started writing down everything.
She realized it. See, I think one of my favorite aspects that's really, I mean, it's kind of noticeable, I guess, but it's a smaller aspect, is that every time she dies, when she wakes up, she either gets weaker or she wakes up from the death she had.
Right.
Like at one point, she hangs herself because Carter dies, and she knew because at this time she thinks it's the murderer, the guy murderer, so she thinks if she kills him, because she has the opportunity to kill him, and instead of killing him, she knows if this is the murderer and her day doesn't reset, Carter's dead forever. So she goes up to the bell tower and she hangs herself. Well, when she dies and wakes up the next day, she has to crick her neck, and so I think that's kind of interesting how they kind of put that into play. And then the doctor sees that she has stab wounds, and he's like, "You should be dead," and she's like, "You don't even know."
Like, man, I wish I was dead. But
like this is like the 13th time, so it's all right.
I thought everything about this movie was great, and you and I were actually talking in one of the rooms that we put. It had like a big mirror. Get ready. We were talking, and we were like, "This could be a different remake of Groundhog's Day," because, like you said,
there's a lot of remakes out.
There's a lot of remakes out. You know, you have Flatliners that came out a couple weeks ago. You have that came out in September. Beauty and the Beast that came out later this year in March. You have all these remakes going on. They're going on the same pattern of, you know, it's going to be almost like the movie, a little bit different, but like the movie or like the miniseries or like the book and everything else. While this one, it's like Groundhog's Day, except in Groundhog's Day,
the whole plot is different.
Whole plot is different because in Groundhog's Day, Tom Hanks, Bill Murray. Why was I thinking Tom Hanks?
I'm so disappointed in you right now.
I am disappointed in myself. Bill Murray, he wakes up on Groundhog's Day and he does something. I don't remember what he did, but I remember he just having to keep waking up and he's trying to get with this girl and it's not working out and he just has to keep retrying. And then I think eventually he gets with the girl.
And then the days keep going?
No, when he finally gets with the girl and he's just like, you know, I really do have feelings for you. I think that's how it goes. It's the next day.
See,
it's the day after Groundhog's Day.
I saw that movie when I was like 13, and I do not remember
why.
Saw
it. I remember it came on TV one time, and I was young, and I remember seeing it. I was in the middle of the movie, but I still got to watch the end of the movie. Well, on Happy Death Day, she wakes up. It's her birthday. She has to solve her murderer, and once she solves her murderer, it's going to be the next day, which is October 19th. And she has to keep solving it like that. So And like you said at the beginning, at the very end of the movie, he goes, "Your neighbor kind of reminds me of Groundhog's Day." She goes, "What's Groundhog's Day?"
And
Bill Murray.
And she doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right, and I thought that was very interesting how they brought that aspect into it. So this is one of a good movie. And one thing that pointed out was the fact of, horror movies are made like really cheap. They have new actors and actresses. The movie was $4.8 million. That's how much it was made. That's how much it took to make it.
Which is not very much for a movie.
And the movie opening weekend made $31.2 million opening weekend. And I thought that was really good. So I thought that was very interesting. We found that out during the break, and I thought that was very interesting how it does that, because horror movies, they do kind of make a lot of money, but this one was kind of different because although it was a horror movie, it didn't really have the horror aspect.
It was a dark comedy.
It doesn't really have the aspect of there's like a supernatural thing going on, like in Insidious and all the other horror movies. It's just
somebody's killing somebody over jealousy, like of all things.
Oh yeah,
they should have a little dumb.
They should have done something more like,
but girls are girls, so I can see why they chose.
Like the college student, because her roommate, she's hooking up with Tree is hooking up with the teacher,
and Lori wants this teacher to hook up with her. And she's like, he picked you over me. And I'm like, it's such a girl thing. Like,
and I love how she's just like, this is over a guy?
And I think that's probably what was so funny. She was she was freaked out, and then she was like, it's because you sleep with him. And she was like,
over a guy? Which is how everyone felt in the movie. Like, that's how I felt. That's how my friend felt. My friend next to everyone in the row. They're like, really? Over a guy? Like,
and
they
I
could have
think
made it like
so funny.
I wish they would have added like a little bit of backstory, like, oh, you did this when we were young, or you did this and you did that.
I think that would have given it away, though. She would have been like, oh, Lori hates me because of this. Like, she didn't know that Lori liked the teacher. I meant, like, when it comes to the end of the movie, like, when they found out she's the killer, like, do something, like, do a background and everything, but no. And when you see her write the suspect list, Lori is not written on there.
Right, she didn't suspect Lori of anything because Lori's a really nice person.
And she's her friend, and she's her roommate, and she apologizes to Lori about being this, terrible roommate and this terrible person. And I like the switch from the beginning because Tree is just a terrible person. She's mean, she's ruthless, she's heartless. And over the course of her dying, she also realizes, this guy that she went out with in the beginning, she runs into him, and I think his name was Matt or something.
It was like Tim. It was Tim.
Oh yeah. And then she comes to find out that he's not even into girls, and he's just trying to act like he is, and
so he doesn't get bullied.
So she gets this enlightenment of, go be with a dude, like, go find you a fine dude to be with, like, don't be afraid of who you are, and,
like, be yourself and everything. So
the one thing I did not like. There's only one thing in this movie I did not like, and it was they talked about her mom and how her mom and her have the same birthday, and they don't even explain how she died, and I guess because it's irrelevant, but at the same time, it doesn't explain why she dies and wakes up every day on her birthday, and I feel like her mom's story may have had a piece to do with it, but I don't know. I mean, they didn't tie that in.
They didn't really do a lot with that, which... Excuse me. I really wish they did.
I would have at least known, just to know what happened.
Know what happened to her mom and like why she passed away. What is she passed away from? Because I kind of like it, and I kind of don't like how they did that. The reason why I kind of like it because it's open to the imagination. Like her mom could have died of cancer. Her mom was a reg. Like, but they never really like explain it because, like you said, they could have used it as an aspect of why her day keeps repeating. And why her dad wants to keep making small talk because it's talked about in the movie. She won't answer her dad's call. Yeah. She won't go out to dinner. She won't go out to lunch for her birthday because she's embarrassed.
She hates that day.
She hates talking about
her mom. If her mom died on her birthday, like died and was born on the birthday, like that could have been like so relevant. And I think that would have been interesting.
Will you recommend this to anybody?
I would definitely recommend going to see this movie. It was really good. It was funny. It was not super gory. Like, there's a few blood scenes, but like when she gets stabbed and stuff, it's not like she gets stabbed and it's like all of her guts come out. You know, it's very clean and a couple of jump scares, but mostly comedy, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much.
What would you rank this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably about a good 8.5, for sure, because I enjoyed it. And,
I enjoyed it too.
And
I gave it.
I feel like it was like a low B-rated movie, but a little high, not a low, like a B-rated movie, but a little upgrade, more upgraded than that, but not quite like this big Hollywood Marvel film.
Right.
But I think it did better than most expected, and I'm kind of glad it did because it was worth it.
Right. Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining me today, Lauren.
Thank you for having me.
Next week, we are going to be talking about Snowman, which is a horror movie. We're going to kind of be doing the switch where it's actually a real horror movie. Daniel will be with me talking about that because you're not.
I won't go see that.
So join us next week for Snowman, and we'll see you guys at the movies.
Bye.
Bye.